talking about POSH Awareness. If you have any doubts in between, or if you want to comment anything in between, you can just raise your hands, or you can type in chat. You can write your comments or your thoughts in chat, or you can even unmute and talk. Or you can raise your hands and ask us to unmute. My team member will unmute you, or myself will unmute you, and we'll continue the discussion. Let's keep this interactive. Explaining the complete law in 1 hour is very difficult, so we'll be just overviewing the law, but yes, you'll get insightful things and insightful learnings through the session. That I can guarantee. So yes, let's talk about POSH, the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013. So like I said, we'll be talking about law, we'll talk about gender sensitization, need of it, then we'll talk about a few definitions that are given in the law, we'll talk about redressal mechanisms, and then we'll discuss any questions or any thoughts you want to share. We'll talk about that. So the law mentions 3 important words: prevention, prohibition, and redressal. Ensuring safety and security of women at workplace is the basis of the law. Banning inappropriate conduct, letting people know that this kind of conduct, this kind of behavior is not acceptable and is punishable under the law. And obviously redressal, if some mishap happens or if sexual harassment of a woman happens in the workplace, then she should be allowed to speak openly. She should be given justice. So this POSH law works around these 3 main domains. In what type of organization this law is applicable, or in what areas of India or the country this law applies? So the law applies to whole of the India. It applies to all establishments, whether it is a private limited company, public company, or even a disorganized sector like a housemaid, or women working under a contractor where they don't have an appointment letter and they just go every day and they get their salary every day, daily wages. This law applies to them also. This law applies to all establishments irrespective of number of employees, whether it is a small company or big company, gender of the employees. If a company has only male employees in the company, if suppose there is a company which is, a small company, maybe 15 people working there and all of them are male, but still this law applies there. How it applies, we'll talk about it later. You'll come to know how this law applies to a company where only male members work. Irrespective of industry, it applies to IT, it applies to manufacturing industry, it applies to institutions, it applies to hospitals, it applies to restaurants, everywhere. Place of operation. Now, after COVID, what has happened is working from home. This new concept has been introduced, especially in India. People abroad were working from home even before COVID, but this has increased. So place of operation, if I'm sitting at my place, at my home, and I'm interacting with one of my colleagues who is at his own place or he's sitting at his home, and they're interacting about some work related things and sexual harassment happens there. So this law applies to that incidents as well. So place of operation is not a matter here. Legal status of establishment, like I said, if a contractor is, a contractor has employed a few female employees and they don't have any formal appointment letter, or if the contractor doesn't have a proper legally established company or registered company, then also this law applies there. This law applies even to a housemaid, the house worker, the maids that come to our houses for work. If such maid is harassed by her employer during her work, then she's protected by this law. Now, the big question is, why is the need to, come up with such a law? We all know the answer already. There is gender inequality in our society. because of patriarchy, because of social preferences, or because of social conditioning, gender inequality exists in our society. And to fight that gender inequality, measures are taken, and one of the measure is this law. Constitution of India provides equal treatment for female and male members in every sphere in their life. Equal opportunities for studies, if equal opportunities for job, equal opportunities in housework. People of all genders should be taught to respecting a person, respecting other person, even if you have some differences with them, even if you have authority or power as compared to the other person. Respecting other person irrespective of gender is getting more and more importance because of the scenarios that we see around us right now. Same rights, same resources, same responsibilities, same opportunities for everyone, same kind of protection for everyone should be available. Since the birth of a girl child, even in today's era, if you go to some rural place, there is this thing is very common, that if they have a boy and a girl child, the boy will go to a good school, the girl child will go to a government school or something. So this kind of practices are still there in our society. So right to equality is something that the Constitution of India has given us, but it is not in practice in our society till now. That's why these kind of awareness sessions related to gender equality, related to gender sensitization, POSH Act, these kind of awareness sessions are needed. Collaboration. Obviously, we don't get into a debate of who is stronger or who is superior, a man or a woman, or can a woman do everything that a man does, or can a man do everything a woman does. These kind of debates are never ending, and we cannot find a solution to it. The reality is we need to collaborate. We need to work hand in hand. We need to work together so that we bring up, or we, create a society that is safe and happy and good for everyone. So now we'll come to the law. What does the law say about aggrieved women? What does the law say about a workplace? What does the law say about an employer? We'll talk about all that. Aggrieved woman is a woman who has been harassed or who has faced sexual harassment in her office or in her workplace. In relation to a workplace, a woman of any age, whether employed or not means whether she is an employee of the company or she is visiting a place, if she is subjected to sexual harassment, she comes under POSH law as aggrieved woman. So what kind of points we can consider here as aggrieved women? First thing is a working lady, a domestic worker, regular, temporary, ad hoc, any kind of person with wages, or even a voluntary worker. I mean, if there is an NGO and some lady is working for that NGO as a volunteer and she's not being paid, still she is considered as an employee. And if sexual harassment happens with her, this law applies there. Direct employee or through some agent or through some contractor, contractual employee, trainees, apprentice, everyone. Even a woman visiting a place for some work, she also can, come under POSH law. Like I was saying earlier, if there is a company which has only male employees and a woman is visiting that place for some work-related matters, and if she's been sexually harassed during that time, then she can, take help of this POSH law. So POSH law applies there. A student, POSH law applies also to educational institutes where, higher education institutes, obviously, where students of 18 plus years age study. So this is the concept of aggrieved women according to the law. What is a workplace according to law? According to the law, any government institution, any semi-government, PSU, corporation, private company, anything, even a company that is registered in foreign, but it has an office in India, then that office in India comes under POSH law. Hospitals, nursing homes, sports institutes, restaurants, any places visited by the employee during employment. If two people are visiting some XYZ exhibition, or maybe two people of some event management company, if they are visiting at some exhibition for work related thing, and if the woman is sexually harassed there, then she can take protection or she can file complaint against under the POSH law against that person. Like we said, a dwelling place or even house, a housemaid also can file complaint under POSH. So what do you mean by a workplace? All these definitions are given in law, in the act, and I have obviously simplified them so that we understand it. So any place that woman is out for work can be called a workplace. It need not be inside four walls of your office. If she is with a person, she is having working relation. If two people are traveling by taxi, one lady and one man, they are traveling by taxi for some work, for official work, and if she is harassed in the taxi, she can file a complaint under POSH. The workplace is not restricted to the four walls of the office. And like I said earlier, electronic communication. Now, since many of us work from home, or we have this culture of working from home, so in such a case, like Submastery, we are an edtech, we work virtually, all of our employees are working from home. There are many companies like this who work from home, or even if someone is working from office and that person comes home, and after office hours, if some lady and some man, they are discussing something related to work over WhatsApp, and that time she is being she received some inappropriate message from her colleague, she can file a complaint under POSH. So any kind of electronic communication where a work relationship is there. I am audible, or there is some problem in my voice?
Ma'am, is it possible for in Hindi?
I'm not sure whether everybody will understand Hindi, because we have many members who join from South India and they are not very comfortable understanding Hindi, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
So I think I'm using very simple English. There is no,
Yeah,
if
yes.
you are not able
I
to.
am. I understood, but some people are with us.
That
They
is
are
fine.
not understood more. It may create problem.
Okay, okay, okay. If we have, because we have international members also joining in, so that will be difficult. But okay, let me just use a mix of English and Hindi here onwards, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yes, yes. So this was about workplace. Now, what is called a sexual harassment? What can be termed as sexual harassment? Sexual harassment at workplace under POSH law doesn't say that the woman needs to be in physical contact with the person to call it sexual harassment. Like I have been saying right now, if a lady is sitting at her home, two people are working from home, XYZ person is sitting at his work, at his home, and some lady is sitting at her home, and they are interacting for some work related things, and she receives some objectionable message from her colleague, this can come under sexual harassment. So it is sexually some behavior of the person with intention of sexual indications. Physical contact and advances will obviously come under sexual harassment, but demand or request for sexual favors, these kind of things happen when people say you'll be getting a good raise, or if you want your appraisal to be good, or if you want a promotion, these kind of things happen. Sexually colored remarks, when people pass comments on others which have sexual intentions, this can also come under sexual harassment. Showing pornography, any other welcome physical, verbal, or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. See, the important point to be understood here is sexual harassment under POSH law doesn't mean the woman is being physically touched by a person. This is not required. Other kind of things like passing remarks continuously, or discussing discussing topics which have sexual intentions in them in front of a female employee, and she's feeling uncomfortable because of that. There are four people maybe who are sitting at their desks during lunchtime, and they are discussing some objectionable topic, and the lady is sitting next to them, and she's having her during lunchtime, she's having her lunch, and she's feeling uncomfortable, and this is happening again and again. So she can file a complaint under POSH law. Oh, sorry, Hindi. Okay. So सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट का मतलब सिर्फ इतना नहीं है कि फिजिकल टच है वहां. कोई अगर किसी के ऊपर रिमार्क कर रहा है कपड़ों के ऊपर, बॉडी शेप के ऊपर, या इस टाइप के रिमार्क्स हो रहे हैं, दैट आल्सो कम्स अंडर सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट. सेक्सुअल फेवर्स मांगना, come out with me for 1 week, or let's go out for dinner tonight and then we'll hang out for together. इस तरह की चीजें also come under sexual harassment. Any action, gesture, word, or look that has sexual flavor, and who will decide whether that look or word or gesture has sexual flavor in it or not? Here the woman is supposed to decide. If the woman thinks that this kind of behavior or this kind of gesture or this kind of look that a person gives me has sexual flavor in it, then that is acceptable under the law. Such actions make the female uncomfortable. Feeling of the complainant is important. The impact is important, not the intention. This part is very crucial, and the male workers or the males who work with females should understand this part of the law very well. Impact is important, not the intention. If someone is doing something unintentionally, but doing it again and again repetitively, maybe the person doesn't have an intention, but the lady feels uncomfortable, she can still file a complaint. So impact is important, not the intention. Welcome behavior, unwelcome behavior. Welcome behaviors obviously feel good. Unwelcome behavior feels bad. Welcome behavior is reciprocal. Both the sides reciprocate there. Unwelcome behavior is one-sided. If, for example, two people meet for work for the first time, the man maybe takes his hand forward for a shake hand, and the lady is not interested in the shake hand. The person should understand the clue. Or if someone is a employee is putting his hand on the female's shoulder again and again during some meetings or during some discussions, and she is resisting it, or she is not welcoming it, then the person should get his clue. The person should understand that I'm making her uncomfortable. Obviously, welcome behaviors make you feel good, make you feel powerful. or make you feel in control, and they are wanted. But unwelcome behaviors are, they make you feel demeaned, they make you feel powerless, they make you feel ashamed of yourself maybe, and they feel bad, not so happy, feeling. Again, we'll talk about what is considered sexual harassment. Any kind of promise or for of preferential treatment. I'll prefer you over other people if you do this for me. This kind of thing. Or I'll not prefer you if you don't this for me. This kind of things. Threat. I'll throw you out of the company, or I'll fire you. You won't be working in this company, or you'll be transferred to some other place. These kind of threats, if are given in exchange of, or if the boss asks for favors in exchange of these kind of threats, then it is considered as sexual harassment. Interference with work, creating a hostile environment, humiliating treatment. These kind of things come under sexual harassment. Anybody has any questions till this? Because we'll be talking about a few case studies now, and I think that will make things more clear for you. So anybody has any questions or anything to say, or any thoughts or anything, any point that I have missed and so maybe we can talk about it. You can unmute and talk, or you can write in chat. Yes, you'll be getting the presentation. A PDF of this presentation will be sent to you all, to all those who have registered. Yeah, you'll receive it through email.
No question, ma'am.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Now I want you all to talk. We'll be discussing a few case studies. This is the scenario. What can happen if this scenario comes under POSH or no? If yes, why yes? If no, why no? Okay. So we'll be discussing a 3-4 case studies here. And because we have less time, let's do it fast. So I'm reading out the case. Miss A is working as secretary to Mr. C with some company, and she is reporting to Mr. C. One day when she was sitting with Mr. C in office, Mr. C said, "You're looking gorgeous today and your nail polish is beautiful." He also tried to hold her hand, but she withdrew her hand. Miss A filed a complaint with the IC that Mr. C has sexually harassed her. IC is internal committee. We'll be talking about internal committee in a few minutes. Internal committee is formed by the company to address specifically sexual harassment of women. So do you think this case comes under POSH? A lady is working with her superior, and he commented about her looks, about her nails, and he tried to hold her hands, and she was not very comfortable when he tried to hold her hands. Yes, this case obviously will come under POSH. The lady can file a complaint in her company to her HR, not to HR, to the IC of the company. And how the IC works, we'll be talking about it in a few minutes. So a lady invites few of her friends to her home, to a few of her colleagues to her home for a birthday party. And one lady friend of her got harassed by one of her male colleagues during the party. This is the case here. A, on her birthday party, invited few of her office colleagues at home. They included 2 females and 3 male colleagues. All of them were friendly with each other for quite a long time. During the party, one man, F, started touching and hugging one lady, B, inappropriately. She tried to stop him, but she could not do that. Then she pushed him away with full force. He fell and he injured his leg. The girl ran away, took cab, reached home, and next day, that girl approached HR for help. The person who tried to harass her and who got injured also filed a complaint against her for causing injury to her. So can this case come under POSH? Yes or no? If yes, why? If no, why? You can unmute and talk.
Hi, I'm Sonia Rachi.
Yes, Sonia.
Yes, it is a POSH because they are all colleagues. They all work in the same workplace. So yes, POSH. It is a POSH compliant, and be approaching to the HR or the IC is the right step.
Okay. Any other opinions? Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
Any other opinions here?
No, ma'am, it not comes under POSH.
No, madam.
Okay, okay. Why not?
Because they are a colleague, but they are doing a party outside. So
Anyone else?
Yeah, this comes under POSH. Regardless, they are colleagues, regardless, they are in the office time, out the office time. Since, that girl has been harassed, that's the thing. That's why it comes under POSH.
Okay. So now let me make one thing clear here. There are 3 W's that are to be considered for application of POSH. First is women, second is workplace, and third is working relationship. We need to remember these 3 W's. I'll repeat again: women, workplace, and working relationship. First, women. Yes, women is here. Women is there in this. Yes, Sunil, you have to say something. Go ahead. Okay, Sunil has raised his hand. Okay, all right. So yes, a lady is involved here. We can call it a workplace or no? That is the biggest question here. Because if they were for some official function organized by the company, this would come under POSH. But this was a private party organized by someone. This was not related to work. So that's why this won't come under POSH. She can go to the police. She can file a complaint of sexual harassment. Even the man has right to go to the police and file a complaint of injury to him. He also has the right. But this case won't come under POSH. She can file a complaint in police under IPC for sexual harassment, but that won't come under POSH because working relationship and workplace, these 2 things are not applicable. Working relationship, we can say that they are colleagues, but they were not together for some official function or some official work. So this is the answer to this case study. We'll move on to the next one. A big multinational company is headed by a strong and dominating female CEO. She was attracted towards a young, talented male employee of the company, certainly working under her. She called him in her chamber and asked for sexual favors. In turn, offered him promotion with huge jump in salary package. He refused and filed a complaint against her. The reality of today's world is men are also facing sexual harassment. So does this case come under POSH? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. This comes,
Yes,
this
ma'am.
comes under the POSH Act.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes, it is part of POSH.
Okay. Anyone else?
No, ma'am. I think it is not covered under POSH.
Okay. And why do you think so, Panna madam?
Because I think POSH is only right now for female. There is not mention for male.
Very true. Yes. So woman, the aggrieved person under POSH should be a woman. Again, this employee can go to HR and complain about this kind of behavior of his boss, or he can go to the police and file a complaint of sexual harassment in the police under IPC. But this won't come under POSH because POSH gives protection only to women. Sexual harassment of women at workplace. So this law is specifically created only to protect women against sexual harassment. He has other options. He can go to the HR and he can, give a complaint about inappropriate conduct of his boss. He can do that. Or in this case, if we are seeing the CEO of the company is harassing him, there may not be any possibilities of him getting any help in the company, so he can as well go to the police and file a complaint of sexual harassment. But this won't come under POSH because POSH specifically gives protection only to women who are being sexually harassed at workplace. There are talks going on, and there are measures being taken to include men in this act. But right now, till today, this has nothing on that front has been come under the law. So maybe in next 1 year or 2 years, when we conduct this session again, this kind of an incidents can come under POSH, but not right now. Okay, so one more case. A junior intern accused her senior of alleged molestation during a literature festival, which was attended by several. Sorry, मैं हिंदी में बात नहीं कर रही हूँ. I'll talk in Hindi now. Okay. So एक intern है, वो अपने colleague के साथ किसी एक festival के लिए गई है for some work, media company के through अपनी, and her colleague tried to sexually molest her during their stay at that festival. And what the victim, what the perpetrator contended that she's just an intern. एक intern है, अपने colleague के साथ किसी एक festival को cover करने के लिए अपनी media company के through किसी एक out of station जगह पे गई है. वहां उसके colleague ने उसको sexually molest करने की कोशिश की. उसने आके कंप्लेंट की, लेकिन जो परपेट्रेटर था, यानी जिन्होंने उसको हरास किया था, दैट पर्सन सेड दैट शी इज एन इंटर्न and I am an employee. Why do you want to give importance to her? So will this case come under POSH, and will the company listen to the intern or to a senior employee or senior person in the company? Anyone? I had already talked about this earlier also, that if two people are traveling together for some official work, and if the lady is being harassed there by her colleague, then that case will come under POSH because they are going together for work. Like in earlier case, if few people are partying together, but that party is an official party organized by the company, that case also comes under POSH. Now here two people are out somewhere at some other destination, but they are together only for their work. So this case will come under POSH. And any kind of employee, whether an intern or apprentice or temporary person or a permanent employee or newly hired or a young person, any lady can come under this cases. I mean under POSH. So this case definitely is a case under POSH. अच्छा, एक फीमेल इनफर्टिलिटी की ट्रीटमेंट के लिए she has taken leave, and when she comes back, जब ऑफिस ज्वाइन करती है, she goes to the person who reimburses the medical expenses. उस वक्त जो reimbursement वाले जो अकाउंट्स देखते हैं, He suggested a few things to lady. उन्होंने उनकी infertility के बारे में और जानने की इच्छा जताई. उन्होंने उस लेडी को उनके पर्सनल लाइफ के बारे में, उनके सेक्सुअल लाइफ के बारे में अपने हस्बैंड के साथ कुछ क्वेश्चंस किए, कुछ टिप्स देने की कोशिश की, which were not very welcomed by the lady. उस लेडी को अनकंफर्टेबल लग रहा था listening and sharing to all these things. After that conversation, what she should do? Shall she go to the committee and file a complaint against him, or what?
Yes, she can.
Yes, she
Yes.
can. Right. So, अगर कोई अनइंटेंशनली कह रहा है या अनइंटेंशनली कह रहे हैं, ऐसे दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहा है, आई एम कंसर्न्ड अबाउट यू, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू अ फ्यू रेमेडीज, you know, to conceive or to have a baby. But the lady in picture here is not comfortable listening to it or not comfortable sharing her personal life with someone. And this happens again and again, and purposefully, she can go to the IC and file a complaint. So again, very important point here is sexual harassment is a subjective experience. What do you mean by that? Subjective to what? Subjective to what the lady says. Many a times these kind of things cannot be proved, but like we have been hearing in news and all, if one lady complains against her boss, who is maybe a high profile person or someone, other females also come. They say, yes, we have also been harassed, but we didn't have the courage to talk about it. So the point here is subjective experience ka matlab kya hai? We come from different cultures, right? If a person who is raised in a city like Mumbai or Bangalore, that person may have different body language or different kind of behavior with person of opposite gender. And a person who is from a rural background or a tier 3 city, that person may have different kind of behavior, attitude towards person of opposite gender. So we need to respect the cultural differences, the differences in upbringing, the differences in, the level of understanding of the other person. We need to respect that. I'll tell you one incident here. I was in a function where the chief guest was SP, Superintendent of Police of the district, and I was being, I received one certificate from him. So he was typical, what you say, it's not good to mention a community actually, but he was from a background where shaking hands with women was not that common. So when I went to receive my certificate from him, because I am okay shaking hands with a man, I extended my hand and he was very reluctant to shake hands with me. This can happen reverse, If a man who has grown up in Bangalore or Mumbai or a big metro city like Chandigarh, Delhi, he may be okay with hugging a female colleague or shaking hands with female colleague or keeping his hand over shoulder of a female colleague. But a lady who is from a rural background or a tier 2 or tier 3 city, she may not be comfortable if her colleague puts his hand around her shoulder. So we need to understand, we need to take few clues, we need to understand the body language of the person standing in front of us. If that person is uncomfortable, I should know where to draw my boundaries. These kind of things happen. Many a times this happens unknowingly. Many a times people do it, purposefully. So whether it is done unknowingly, it has happened unknowingly, or it is done purposefully, if the lady says that this is sexual harassment and this made me uncomfortable, she can file a complaint, and the inquiry committee should, the IC committee should inquire about the incidents. So now we'll talk about redressal, and then we'll talk about what the company should do. So internal committee, IC, I was talking about IC. Every company should have IC, internal committee. Earlier it was, called internal ICC. Now it is called internal committee. So it is mandatory for every establishment that has more than 10 employees. And every person in the internal committee should be given a written letter that you are part of this IC. They have to submit an annual report to the district officer. Usually the collector of the district is the district officer for IC. Many times some other person can also be. So giving an annual report of the IC committee to this district officer is mandatory for the company. Even if there are no cases of sexual harassment, there is a form that is given by the government. You have to just fill it, nil. No cases of sexual harassment in this company since for last 1 year, and you have to submit it. Internal committee has a presiding officer, minimum 2 members, 1 member from NGO. So total number of members, minimum 4. Presiding officer should be a senior women employee from the company. 2 members from the, someone who has some legal knowledge or who work for women, and one NGO person. So ideally, I mean, the law says that there should be 4 people. But if there are 4 people in the IC, and while deciding on something, to vote for, against the lady, or 2 vote for the lady, there will be a tie. So ideally, there should be 5 people so that majority decision can be taken. District officer should form a local committee. This is the government's part. This is not related to a company. This is government's part. Government should set up a local committee at district level. For organization which have less than 10 employees, or the organization who do not have IC, internal committee, with them. So these kind of things can go to the local committee. Like अगर किसी कंपनी के CEO ने किसी फीमेल एम्प्लॉय को हरास किया है, that female employee may think that it is not possible for me to complain in the IC, because again the IC will obviously favor the CEO. So that woman can directly go to local committee, that is the committee that is set up by government at district level, और वो वहां भी complaint दे सकती है. There are certain influential people in the company. अगर कोई influential person है कंपनी में, बहुत सीनियर पोस्ट पे है, और एम्प्लॉय अगर बहुत न्यू इंटर्न है लेडी, तो उनको ये लग सकता है कि मेरी कंप्लेंट ठीक से सुनी नहीं जाएगी, या जो मेरे सीनियर बॉस है उनके फेवर में डिसीजन दिया जाएगा, तो वो सीधा लोकल कमिटी में जा सकते हैं इंस्टेड ऑफ गोइंग टू द आईसी. इंटरनल कमिटी के पास जाए बिना, इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट शी कैन गो डायरेक्टली टू द लोकल कमिटी, जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म करता है. गवर्नमेंट की लायबिलिटी है लोकल कमिटी फॉर्म करना, और इसकी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन डिस्ट्रिक्ट में अगर आप कलेक्टर ऑफिस में वगैरह जाएंगे तो वहां डिस्प्ले करना गवर्नमेंट के लिए मैंडेटरी है कि लोकल कमिटी में कौन मेंबर्स हैं, उनके नेम्स, फोन नंबर्स, ईमेल आईडीज सब डिस्प्ले करना, ये भी गवर्नमेंट के लिए भी मैंडेटरी. डोमेस्टिक वर्कर्स जैसे हाउस हेल्प, घर में मेड जो काम करती है, वो कौन सी आईसी के पास जाएगी? शी कैन गो टू द डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफिस. वेयर कैन शी गिव द कंप्लेंट? जैसे मैंने बताया, इंटरनल कमिटी के पास कंपनी के जा सकती है, या ईसी के पास जा सकती है. 3 महीने में उनको कंप्लेंट देना इज मैंडेटरी विद इन द 3 months ऑफ द इंसिडेंस होने के 3 महीने के अंदर द लेडी शुड गिव कंप्लेंट. अगर उस लेडी को लग रहा है कि मैं ना आईसी में जा सकती हूँ ना एलसी में जा सकती हूँ, मैं दोनों जगह मुझे कंप्लेंट नहीं देनी है, she can go to the government's website. गवर्नमेंट की वेबसाइट है shebox.nic.in. इसमें she can file a complaint. This shebox is directly monitored by PMO office. प्राइम मिनिस्टर के ऑफिस से ये यहाँ की कंप्लेंट्स डायरेक्टली मॉनिटर होती है. सो इफ सम लेडी फाइल्स अ कंप्लेंट ऑनलाइन, वो एस्केलेट होके कंप्लेंट आएगी तो एलसी के पास ही आएगी, लेकिन शीबॉक्स के थ्रू जब आती है so that LC is liable to report to higher authorities about क्या किया इस केस में. तो शीबॉक्स के थ्रू जब कंप्लेंट जाती है तो एलसी लेवल पे या आईसी लेवल पे अगर उस कंप्लेंट के ऊपर काम नहीं किया गया तो उनको गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से, हायर अथॉरिटीज की तरफ से क्वेश्चनिंग हो सकती है। कंप्लेंट में क्या क्या होना चाहिए? नेम ऑफ द परपेट्रेटर, इनके अगेंस्ट कंप्लेंट देनी है, उनका नाम, टाइम, वर्किंग रिलेशन, वो मेरे बॉस हैं, कलीग है, जो भी वर्किंग रिलेशनशिप उनके साथ है, डेट एंड डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द इंसिडेंट्स। इसके लिए कोई फॉर्मेट नहीं, देयर इज नो फॉर्मेट फॉर इट। द लेडी कैन राइट ऑन सिंपली ऑन अ पीस ऑफ पेपर एंड गिव द कंप्लेंट। If the lady is injured, if the lady is physically disabled, or if she is mentally retarded, or she is deaf and dumb, or if the lady has died, any person who knows about the incidents and who knows the lady can file a complaint. Her family member, her friend, her co-worker, her guardian, any person who knows about it, even some person from an NGO who comes to know about these incidents can file a complaint on behalf of the lady. In case of the, if in case the lady is alive but she is physically incapable of going to the internal committee or LC, then an undertaking from her should be taken while filing the complaint. And in case of death, undertaking from her legal heir should be taken. मतलब अगर किसी लेडी की डेथ होती है तो उनके लीगल हेयर, या तो उनके हस्बैंड है या उनके बेटे हैं, उनका कंसेंट लेके some NGO person also can file the complaint. ग्रीवेंस रिड्रेसल कैसे होता है? आईसी कमेटी के पास कंप्लेंट आई, उसके बाद क्या होता है? 3 महीने में एक तो कंप्लेंट देनी है। 3 महीने से ज्यादा अगर होते हैं, इफ द इंसिडेंट इज ओल्डर देन 3 months, the lady has to mention why she has not filed the complaints for 3 months. उनको राइटिंग में देना पड़ता है कि मैंने 3 महीने से ज्यादा मुझे टाइम क्यों लगा कंप्लेंट देने में। आईसी में कंप्लेंट आने के बाद, आईसी या एलसी में कंप्लेंट आने के बाद कंसाइलेशन या सेटलमेंट की कोई ऑप्शंस है क्या, उसके बारे में देखा जाता है। सेटलमेंट इज नॉट मैंडेटरी ऑन एनी साइड। वो लेडी के लिए भी सेटलमेंट में ही जाना मैंडेटरी नहीं है, ना परपेट्रेटर को सेटलमेंट एक्सेप्ट करना मैंडेटरी है। अगर सेटलमेंट होती है तो उस केस में इंटरनल कमिटी जो उसको रिकॉर्ड में लाएगी और आगे इंक्वायरी नहीं करेगी। अगर इफ एनी ऑफ द पार्टी रिफ्यूजेस द सेटलमेंट, इंक्वायरी होती है। इंक्वायरी प्रोसेस कैसी होगी? ऑब्वियसली दोनों साइड्स का सुना जाएगा, जो भी जिसके पास प्रूफ है। अगर किसी ने कोई व्हाट्सएप मैसेजेस के बारे में बता रहा है तो दे हैव टू प्रोड्यूस द प्रूफ्स, या फिर अगर कोई अपनी कलीग्स के स्टेटमेंट्स देना चाहता है कि दिस पर्सन वाज विथ मी व्हेन दिस फेलो हरास्ड मी, तो वो सारे दोनों तरफ के एविडेंसेस एंड ऑल सब लिए जाते हैं इंटरनल कमिटी के द्वारा। एंड देन एम्प्लॉयर को, कंपनी को रिकमेंडेशंस के साथ इंटरनल कमिटी रिपोर्ट दे देती है। 30 days में इनको रिपोर्ट देना होता है। अगर एलिगेशन प्रूव होते हैं तो सर्विस रूल जो भी है, कंपनी का कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट जो भी है, उसके अकॉर्डिंग कंपनी विल पनिश दैट पर्सन। मॉनिटरी पेनल्टी भी अग्रीव्ड वुमन को देने की, आई मीन दिस लॉ हैज दैट प्रोविजन ऑफ गिविंग मॉनिटरी पेनल्टी to the perpetrator, that should be given to the aggrieved woman. अगर अग्रीव्ड वुमन या परपेट्रेटर, जिन्होंने हरासमेंट की है वो या जो हरास हुई है लेडी, वो दोनों में से कोई भी इंटरनल कमिटी के इस फैसले से खुश नहीं है, दे कैन ऑलवेज गो टू द कोर्ट। कोर्ट में जाके फिर से केस डाल सकते हैं। अगर एलिगेशन प्रूव नहीं हुए, किसी लेडी ने एलिगेशन डाला है लेकिन वो प्रूव नहीं हो पाया है कि दैट द पर्सन हैज सेक्सुअली हरास्ड हर, वहां पे एक्शन ऑब्वियसली नहीं ली जा सकती। लेकिन व्हाई डिड द लेडी फाइल द कंप्लेंट? डज शी हैव एनी मैलिशियस इंटेंशन? क्या उस लेडी ने बदला लेने के लिए या कुछ खराब इंटेंशंस के साथ, बुरे इंटेंशंस के साथ किसी को फंसाने के लिए ये कंप्लेंट डाली थी? उसका इन्वेस्टिगेशन आईसी कमेटी कर सकती है। आईसी कमेटी हैज दैट राइट। और लेकिन कोई आदमी के ऊपर चार्जेस प्रूव नहीं हुए और लेडी ने ये पर्पसफुली किया है ये भी प्रूव नहीं हो पाया, तो वहां केस खत्म। अगर इंक्वायरी जब पेंडिंग है, जब इंक्वायरी चल रही है, एंड दैट एम्प्लॉय सेज, दैट लेडी सेज कि आई कैन नॉट कम टू ऑफिस टिल द इंक्वायरी इज पेंडिंग, क्योंकि आई वर्क विद दैट फेलो, मुझे रोज उनका सामना करना पड़ता है, एंड आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू डू दिस टिल द टाइम दिस इंक्वायरी इज हैपनिंग, तो शी कैन बी ग्रांटेड लीव बाय द कंपनी। इसमें लॉ हैज दैट प्रोविजन टू ग्रांट हर लीव, उनको छुट्टी देने की प्रोविजन है लॉ में, या फिर ट्रांसफर की भी प्रोविजन है, वुमन को ट्रांसफर करो, या फिर जो रिस्पोंडेंट है यानी परपेट्रेटर है जिनके अगेंस्ट केस डाली है उनको ट्रांसफर करो। ये प्रोविजंस लॉ में दिए गए हैं दैट कंपनी एम्प्लॉयर शुड डू दिस इफ दे रिसीव रिटर्न रिक्वेस्ट फ्रॉम द अग्रीड वुमन। कंपेंसेशन कैसे डिटरमाइन करती है, जो मॉनेटरी पेनल्टी होती है वो कैसे डिटरमाइन होती है, मेंटल ट्रॉमा किस लेवल का हुआ, करियर में क्या लॉस हुआ, मेडिकल एक्सपेंसेस, अगर इंजरी है तो मेडिकल एक्सपेंसेस क्या हुए, फाइनेंशियल स्टेटस रिस्पोंडेंट का जिनके अगेंस्ट कंप्लेंट दी जा रही है उनका फाइनेंशियल स्टेटस क्या है, ये सारी चीजें डिस्कस करके कंपेंसेशन जो लेडी को मिलेगा वो डिसाइड होता है। Like I said, any person, any of the two people involved can file a complaint. If they are not satisfied, they can go to the court. कोर्ट में जाके केस डाल सकते हैं अगर उनको वो सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है इंटरनल कमिटी या लोकल कमिटी ने जो फैसला किया है उससे। 90 डेज का उनके पास टाइम मिलता है। इंटरनल कमिटी या लोकल कमिटी ने अपनी रिपोर्ट देने के बाद 90 डेज में, 90 दिन में, that person should go to the court if they are not satisfied or okay with the report. जब हमने बात की थी कि malicious intentions अगर वुमन के है तो क्या, she has done it purposefully just to malign the image of the person, या फिर उनकी इमेज खराब करने के लिए, उनसे बदला लेने के लिए अगर किसी वुमन ने पर्पसफुली उनके अगेंस्ट ये सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट का केस डाला है और ये प्रूव होता है कि उन्होंने पर्पसफुली किया है, देन she is also liable for punishment. कंपनी के सर्विस रूल के हिसाब से उस लेडी के ऊपर उस एक्ट कर सकते हैं, उस लेडी के अगेंस्ट कंपनी एक्शन ले सकती है, बट मॉनेटरी कंपेंसेशन का कोई प्रोविजन नहीं है। जैसे लेडी को मॉनेटरी कंपेंसेशन मिल सकता है फ्रॉम रिस्पोंडेंट, वैसे मैन को मॉनेटरी कंपेंसेशन का प्रोविजन लॉ में नहीं है इफ द वुमन हैज डन इट पर्पसफुली जस्ट टू मलाइन हिज इमेज। कुछ टाइमलाइंस है यहाँ जो मैंने पहले ही बताई है, उसका एक ये समरी है। ये सारा का सारा प्रेजेंटेशन, ये सब जो कुछ भी अभी डिस्कस हो रहा है, यू विल बी गेटिंग इट थ्रू पीडीएफ वाया योर ईमेल, एंड एक्ट की कॉपी भी है, वो भी आपको ईमेल में मिलेगी। कंप्लेंट कितने दिन में देनी है? विद इन 3 months ऑफ द इंसिडेंस। नोटिस टू द परपेट्रेटर और मेल एम्प्लॉय 7 दिन में, कंप्लेंट आने के 7 दिन में द आईसीसी शुड गिव द नोटिस टू द परपेट्रेटर। परपेट्रेटर या रिस्पोंडेंट जो है, परपेट्रेटर या रिस्पोंडेंट इज द पर्सन हु हैज कमिटेड द सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट, उनको 10 दिन में अपना रिप्लाई देना है। आईसी कमिटी की प्रोसीडिंग्स 90 डेज में कंप्लीट करनी है। उसके 10 दिन के बाद मैनेजमेंट को रिपोर्ट देना मैंडेटरी है। मैनेजमेंट को 60 डेज में एक्शन लेना मैंडेटरी है। आईसी इंटरनल कमिटी का रिपोर्ट आने के बाद द मैनेजमेंट शुड टेक एक्शन on the report within 60 days. Appeal by either party 90 days, उस रिपोर्ट के या मैनेजमेंट के एक्शन के बाद 90 दिन में अगर दोनों में से कोई पार्टी सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है विद द रिपोर्ट और विद द डिसीजन, they can go to the court within 90 days. वुमेन को फिर से हरास नहीं किया जा रहा है सेम पर्सन से, इसके लिए वॉच रखने के लिए द कंपनी शुड हैव मेजर्स फॉर 5 years। ये लॉ कहता है कि 5 साल तक कंपनी ने उस फीमेल के प्रोटेक्शन के लिए एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट्स लेने चाहिए। सो दिस वाज अबाउट एम्प्लॉय एम्प्लॉयर एंड द harassment, the harassed women, aggrieved women, respondent, the IC committee. कंपनी ने क्या करना चाहिए? What should the company do? Obviously, the company should prepare IC. उनको IC फॉर्म करना कंपलसरी है। फॉर द एम्प्लॉयर इट्स कंपलसरी टू फॉर्म IC आईसी मेंबर्स को रिटर्न में लेटर देना है कि यू आर पार्ट ऑफ आईसी। डिस्प्ले एट वर्क प्लेस, ये सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट एक्ट जो है इसके पॉइंट्स डिस्प्ले करना एट वर्क प्लेस में मैंडेटरी है। क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस, पीनल कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस है, यानी लॉ में क्या पनिशमेंट्स है वो देना कंपलसरी है। कंपोजिशन ऑफ आईसी, कंपनी में बहुत सारी विजिबल प्लेसेस पे जहां समझो गैदरिंग्स होती है, मेजर गैदरिंग्स होती है या एंट्रेंस है, वहां पे बड़ा सा बोर्ड बना के इंटरनल कमिटी, सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट इंटरनल कमिटी, नेम्स, देयर फोन नंबर्स, देयर ईमेल आईडी, इसका बड़ा सा बोर्ड लगाना मैंडेटरी है। ग्रीवियंस रिड्रेसल मैकेनिज्म अवेलेबल होना चाहिए फीमेल एम्प्लॉयज के लिए। जैसे अभी अवेयरनेस सेशन है, इस टाइप के अवेयरनेस सेशंस कंपनी में कराना इज मैंडेटरी फॉर द कंपनी अकॉर्डिंग टू लॉ। ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम फॉर आईसी, इंटरनल कमिटी मेंबर्स जो है दे आर एज गुड एज जजेस, मतलब उनको जज लेवल की पावर है इस लॉ के अंडर। सो उनको एजुकेट करना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। दे शुड नो व्हाट द लॉ इज, दे शुड नो हाउ द आईसी कमिटी शुड फंक्शन, दे शुड नो आईसी कमिटी के पावर्स क्या क्या है, आईसी कमिटी क्या कर सकती है, आईसी कमिटी ने कैसे फंक्शन करना है। सो उसके लिए ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम्स आईसी मेंबर के लिए भी बहुत जरूरी है। इंश्योरिंग अ सेफ सिक्योर वर्किंग एनवायरनमेंट। एंटी सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट पॉलिसी हर कंपनी की होनी चाहिए। अब एंटी सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट पॉलिसी में बोथ फीमेल एंड मेल मेंबर्स आर इंक्लूडेड। ये एंटी सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट पॉलिसी सिर्फ पॉश एक्ट से रिलेटेड नहीं है, दिस इज अ जनरल पॉलिसी दैट शुड बी पार्ट ऑफ कंपनी पॉलिसी। Obviously, the employer should cooperate and assist the internal committee during the inquiry. They should have some service rule mention कि sexual harassment हुआ है किसी का, कोई sexual harassment अगर कर रहा है तो what action should be taken against that person, ये service rules में mention किया हुआ होना चाहिए। Aggrieved employee को assistance देना, if she wants to go to the police, if she wants leave, if she wants transfer, or if she wants the other person to be transferred, इसमें असिस्ट करना इज द एम्प्लॉयर्स ऑब्लिगेशन लायबिलिटी। आईपीसी में ऑब्वियसली आईपीसी के अंडर जो भी एक्शंस है वो लेने चाहिए। टाइमली सबमिशन ऑफ रिपोर्ट्स, जैसे मैंने बताया था एवरी ईयर द एम्प्लॉयर इज लायबल टू सबमिट आईसी कमिटीज रिपोर्ट टू द डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफिसर। अगर ये नहीं करता है कोई एम्प्लॉयर, उस केस में up to 50,000 rupees का provision है under law. The district officer or the collector can fine the company if the company doesn't have IC. और अगर repeated offense है ये, मतलब बार बार इंफॉर्मेशन देने के बाद, बार बार नोटिस देने के बाद भी उस कंपनी ने आईसी फॉर्म नहीं किया, इंटरनल कमिटी फॉर्म नहीं की है, या एंटी सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट पॉलिसी नहीं बनाई है, in that case even the cancellation of the business license is possible. Non-cognizable offenses हैं ये सारे। So here we come to the end of the session and